Okay, everyone, thank you for your patience. We're going to go ahead and get started now. So welcome if you weren't here for my introduction at the very beginning. This is the second webinar video in the Dow Jones Truth Buzz webinar series. It's sponsored by Craig Newmark Philanthropies and Dow Jones, so big thanks to them. This will be the second. As I mentioned, there will be one more coming up in about a month related again to fact checking. So before we start, I just wanted to give a quick introduction into what this webinar will be about, because I got a couple questions, comments. People were thinking that this was going to be a how to do a fact check, but instead it'll be about taking fact checked articles to the next level to help them become amplified more, and so that your audience has a better chance of seeing them on social media and sharing them. So before we start, I want to introduce our panelists, and I'll give a quick couple sentences about what they did during their Truth Buzz Fellowship, what they're doing now, and then we'll go into the presentation and then questions. So Hannah, if you want to go ahead first.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Hannah, and I'm presently a Chevening Scholar at the University of Sussex, where I'm studying media practice for development. So I was a Truth Buzz Fellow working with two media firms in Nigeria, that is Daily Trust and Africa Check. So basically, my work was just about, amplifying fact check and using, one of the high points for that was using short videos to sort of expand the audience for fact checking. So I did that while in Nigeria, and I have a background in development journalism as well. Hello.
Hi, Astu.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Hi, my name is Astu, and right now I am the social media editor for BBC Indonesia. I was a Truth Buzz fellow for in Indonesia. I work with two newsrooms, which is Tempo and Tirto. And for Tempo, I created social media accounts and helped their fact check team to spread their articles into a wider audience. So I created Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I also do newsletter and a lot of Google SEO, and just to make sure that the article goes to the audience.
Great, thank you. And I also just want to remind everyone that if you go toward the bottom of your Zoom screen, you should have an option to enter the chat box. So you can go ahead and ask your questions directly on there, and we'll address them when we see them. Astu, would you like to go ahead and start with the brief presentation that you prepared?
Okay.
Okay, great.
Let me share my screen with you. And this is, I want to talk a little bit about engagement. So when you're doing social media, you have to think about different platforms and how these different platforms have their own best practice in using them. The first is, of course, you need to know what kind of audience is there. So Instagram right now is a lot of younger people, and Facebook is, the older people are now going to Facebook, but it doesn't mean that there's no young people there. Young people also use Facebook to find information. So this is new thing for me, because I also just figured out that a lot of young people specifically goes to Facebook to find information. So that will be a great platform for you to put your articles. So engagement means that you want your audience to your audience to engage with your contents. So if Hannah later we'll talk about the production of the content. So you have your content ready, and now you have to also think about engagement. Being a journalist, I always think that when I write an article which is good and which is complete and details, like a lot of fact checks articles, sometimes I forgot to think about how to deliver it the right way for the audience. And sometimes we fail to reach people because people just don't understand what we write. And in social media, we want to make it simple. So social media is where people want to socialize. You want people to share your content. You want people to comment to your content. So you have to present your post so that it triggers people's emotion. Because when people feels that they have certain emotion like sad or angry or any kind of emotion when they see your content, they will be more likely to to make an engagement, giving reaction and giving comments, and also share it. So you have to make sure that you are engaging them from the very start. You also have to listen to your audience and respond to their questions or comments. A lot of people also send DMs, direct messages. So it's a great place to engage with them also. So what you can do in Instagram, you can, of course, you can have your feeds, you can have a single picture or a carousel. And from experience, I see that carousel have more engagement. So if you want to make your fact check contents into Instagram feed, it's better if you prepare multiple cards so you can put it on carousel. And Instagram story is the place that you can have a raw or direct contact with your audience. And it's also a great place for you to have an interactivity, because Instagram story has a lot of elements, like you can put polls or questions. And I have some example later if you want to see it. In Facebook, of course, you can have the post and the teaser. You can have longer teasers. Teaser is the updates, or some people say the postings, or the whatever you call it. It means the status, the status update that you put on Facebook. And right now they also have Facebook story. And although right now not a lot of people see Facebook story, I mean, it's not as popular as Instagram story, but the user actually is getting more and more every day. So the best engagement with Facebook story is just put 1 or 2 cards maximal, or you can put a 20-second video. So in Instagram, you can be as creative as you can and put a lot of cards to drive interactivity. But in Facebook story, because I think a lot of the people that using Facebook is just, they're older people, they're not really go to Facebook to do interactivity. So it's best if you just keep it simple in the Facebook story. So in Twitter, you can do tweets with video or image, and you can also make a Twitter thread, which is very effective if you have long article. Yeah, so another thing that you have to be mindful about videos. In Instagram, it's best to put the video in your feed, which is you have to keep it under 1 minute. If you have long videos, you have to put it on IGTV. And by experience, if you don't have a very strong content or very engaging content, people will not click to see your IGTV. So I would recommend you to keep your videos under 1 minute. The Facebook algorithm is right now a little bit more complicated, because they would they will push your content, your video content. They will recommend it more to the user if you have longer than 3 minutes video. And it's very difficult to have at least 3-minute video that people will watch until the end. And in Twitter, because people don't go to Twitter to see video per se, you just want to make it simple, like 2 minutes maximal, or you can put create a GIF. So when you do threads, Twitter thread, make sure that each tweet is also accompanied by visual. It could be picture or short videos, because it will, again, will have more engagement. You also have to be thinking about searchability and visibility, which means you have to think about, you know, not only the video itself, but you also have to think about the thumbnails. You have to think about the video cover. And of course, people see your content in their mobile phones. So you have to make sure that your thumbnails or your cover is big enough or visible enough for people to see in the mobile phone. Yeah, so I guess that's the basic principle of, you know, try to get more engagement with people. And if you already have a lot of followers or audience, you can, it's all, I always recommend you to always you know, familiarize yourself with seeing their insights. Facebook has a pretty complete insights, and Instagram also, so you understand better your audience. Sometimes the audience, your audience, likes one single picture more. In my case, when I'm doing Instagram for a tempo, people are very engaged with carousel, but it might be different for your audience. So make sure that you always understand your audience through the insights.
That's great. Thank you, Astu. Really helpful to know what you followed in terms of each platform, how long the video should be, which is really cool because later you and Hannah are going to show how you can create videos for different platforms, different stories based off the same article. So stay tuned for that also at the very end. Hannah, would you like to share anything? I know you had a video that you wanted to share before we go into questions, I think.
Yeah, I would like to share one of the videos that I did with Lumen 5 with one of the news partners. So just to demonstrate, you know, some of the things that Astu has said and some of the other things that I'll be showing later. So I'm sharing my screen now. And okay, it's on Instagram. Okay. Just trying to, okay, I think I'll just type it in. Just a minute. Okay, yeah. So this is what I want to do. So this particular one. I'm trying to play the video. I don't know.
Maybe try refreshing it.
Okay.
But in the meantime, also, do you want to give a brief description of the video and how?
Yes, this is a video that we did about, you know, during the election in Nigeria. That was in the month of February when you had the election. So because then there was this misinformation about, you know, what Tom finger people should vote with and what they can vote with. So we did this, yeah. And it's like, I will just pause so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so that was the video, and it's one of our most engaging videos so far. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, all right. So that was one of the most successful video that we had. As you can see, it had over 60,000 views. And what that goes to demonstrate is, you know, when you have fact check reports that you want to sort to expand the audience, when you're doing the video, it does not need to be long. You just pick the basic facts and summarize and use pictures. And the platform that we use, which is Lumen 5, it's so easy to use and very accessible. You can even upload videos. And the basic thing why it's important, like as to said for video, because when I was doing my fellowship, I had to consider the demography, look at my country. You have a lot of young people, and most times they are not interested in long text. So what you do is, you know, when those fact checks, when they are published, because you've put in a lot of effort, just take the extra efforts to just pick the important points, do like a summary, add pictures, and just do a video and share with your audience, especially on social media platform, because we know a lot of people access news on social media. And one of the ways to sort of reach them is to engage them, and you engage them with visuals. So those videos have been very effective. Like for the media partners that I work with, it sort of helped us to, you know, get a lot of followers on Facebook, especially on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. So those are the basic thing about doing videos for fact checking. Keep it short, look at the salient points, and look at, especially when it comes to trending topic. When you have trending topics or trending topics in misinformation that you want to sort of raise awareness on. So just pick those topics on lifestyle, on anything. And one other thing that we also did was to use those videos to do a sort of, you know, what we call a public service announcement, sort of use it to sensitize people. Like there was one we did in Pidgin English. Pidgin English is a sort of English that is unique to Nigerians and spoken across West Africa. We sort of use it to enlighten people about, okay, when you get a WhatsApp message, these are the things you should look for, and these are not the things you should pay attention to. So it's cost effective. You don't really need much money and you don't need much skills. It's very easy to use. So I hope soon I'll have a chance to demonstrate how you can just get that going.
Great. And that brings me to one of my first questions for both of you, Astu and Hannah, is before the fellowship, how much video editing experience did you have to create videos like this that are so sophisticated and so that really go far in terms of social media and in terms of reaching an audience?
Okay, I think yes, none.
Did you take classes or anything, or did you just teach yourself based off your instincts?
Yeah, I mean, I think I just stumbled on Shorten. And it's so straightforward. Like, no, I didn't even take any demo class. You know, once you're on the platform, it just tells you the next thing to do. I just play around it and you find out that as you continue to do more videos, you get better.
Yeah, I did a little bit of Photoshop, so I know the basic principle of Photoshopping. But then again, after I created my own cards for for Instagram, I did a lot of research. I watch a lot of YouTube videos on, you know, how to make design things and use more sophisticated Photoshop. But basically, I just do the simplest thing in Photoshop, and Lumen 5 is really helping. And I will also show you some of the website online tools that I use to make social cards, which is basically you don't need to have a design ability or background.
Great. And what changes did you both see in your newsrooms before and after you started doing these videos, graphics, social media cards? What kind of prompted you to pick these methods to reach your audience in addition to just the articles that were written by the fact checkers?
Okay, for us, you know, because like I mentioned before about the thing about the demography, the changes, I saw that those newsrooms, you know, they were doing fantastic fact check, but the engagement was so little. And they didn't even have like social media platforms specifically dedicated to the Nigerian audience. So the thing I came up with, especially for Africa Check, was, okay, let's create a Facebook page, an Instagram page solely dedicated to Nigerian audience. And when we created this page, we put those videos on this platform. So it sort of helped us to engage. Like, you have feedback from the audience, we have people following the page. So it sort of leads to the popularity of the fact check that we do. and sort of created some buzz. People now, they are sort of aware, and sometimes they sort of anticipate the video. So it's really helped with engaging and getting a lot of people, other people, to plug in into what we're doing, because usually people don't really want to read information in a serious format. They want to simplify it, and that really worked, and it's connected with our audience well.
Okay, so for me, I have a few advantage when I did social media for Tempo. If you're from Indonesia, Tempo is very well known, but they are known for their investigative reporting. So they have a fact check team, but they don't have their own social media. So I'm creating that and try to reach people who's not used to read Tempo, which is it's a magazine and older people are reading it. So social media is the perfect place for me to reach younger audience, introduce the brand Tempo that is right now also engaging younger people. And what I learned from doing all of the platforms together is that in a very short time, I mean, we did the fellowship in less than a year. In 6 or 7 months, you will see that one platform work better than the other. So in my case, Instagram is a very huge hit. I think Hannah has more Facebook engagement, right? So in my case, Facebook and Twitter is kind of hard to take off. So by the last couple of months, I decided to just focus on Instagram and putting a lot more effort to that specific platform. So, it's not that I'm neglecting the other platform, but within that short amount of time, I succeeded in having 20,000 followers in Instagram, which is kind of a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. Yeah, you both, in addition to making these awesome videos and graphics, you created social media accounts from zero and really got an audience for your newsrooms right away. So that's awesome. That could be another webinar completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so one of my next questions, in terms of starting the process, how do you pick the article that you think will do best on social media? Because of course you don't have time to create a social graphic or social video for every article that's been fact checked. How do you pick the one that you think will have the biggest impact on social?
Okay. Yeah, for us is usually articles on trending issues. Normally when you go through Twitter trends and you see what people are talking about, and if you have a fact check in that area, we usually do a video on that. And we did some videos on lifestyle, some fact check that has to do with lifestyle issues, because believe it or not, sometimes people don't want the serious news. Let me use that term. Sometimes people want the soft news. So looking at what is trending, looking at sometimes when we have fact check relating to lifestyles, and sometimes when you have some sort of, when you're trying to do some sort of control for a damage, when you've had some sort of misinformation flying around and you've done some work in that area and you want people to know, we sort of invest in that. And one other thing that we did was to do a lot of guides, a lot of videos, like guiding people on, this is what you should believe on WhatsApp, this is how to check fake news on WhatsApp, these are the certain elements to look for in a news story before you sort of consume them. Because we know that apart from the aim of trying to expand your audience and getting a fact check to reach people, you should also try in investing in ensuring that people are sort of inoculated against fake news so that they know what to look for. So we did a lot of trending videos, lifestyle, and topics around guides on how people can sort of identify fake news and not fall for misinformation on their social media platforms.
Yeah, so I think for me in that case, because Tempo has a very strong brand awareness that they are doing a very serious article, and so they have that certain expectation that we also give the fact checks that are more serious. So this part is, again, understanding your target audience And also, if you're working with certain different newsroom, they will also have different target audience. So in a way, you have to also adjust with their needs. And for me, because the fellowship was happen when we have an election, and there's a lot of political issues, political misinformation. So what we choose is, of course, the ones that are trending, but also still related with the election. And so, yeah, I think it's kind of different with Hannah's because I also do some kind of digital literacy on how to Google reverse image from your phone, something like that, but not a lot.
Great. And so one of my next questions, besides creating the short videos, I know both of you also experimented with different platforms, different methods. Which one would you say was the most successful for your audience? And was it something that you kind of had to convince others in your newsroom to go that path as opposed to maybe a more traditional path that they wanted to go?
Yeah, I think because when I work with Tempo, they are very cooperative and they are very open to any kind of ideas that I want to do. So when I say like, okay, let's create a social media, and I want to focus on Instagram more, so they're just say go for it, and they leave me to decide which platform works best. That's why I explained to you earlier that by the last couple of months I choose to put more efforts in Instagram rather than the other platform. I also created newsletter for a more in-depth kind of content for Tempo's audience, for Tempo's list of subscribers, and it also worked very well. Once again, I think when I first do this fellowship, I take 1 month to understand Tempo's audience and to create a planning that will fit with their goals. So planning is also it's very important if you want to launch something. It's better not to launch a platform, in my opinion. It's better not to launch something if you don't plan it enough. Like, for example, when I first created the Instagram, I am preparing like 10 posts so that when people see our account, when they go to our profile, they see a lot of contents already in there, not just like 1 or 2 contents, things like that.
Okay, can you repeat the question again, Alex?
So yes, so in addition to the social videos that I know you both did, had other methods of getting the fact check to a wider audience. Which one do you think was most successful? Were you trying to focus more on social videos toward the end because that's what your audience reacted toward more?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, the social media videos were very, very successful. Of course, I also did some other things like, using cards and creative to sort of get engagement. But the videos were very, very successful in terms of, the reach and how it sort of helped us to build the platform, especially for Africa Check, where we grew the Facebook followers. I think like now they have like 7.6, like over 7,000 followers. So it sort of helped like the engagement, the popularity, because as at then, in the Nigerian media industry, the people who use videos are you don't really have those sort of short videos. So it's even fun because now you have other blogs who sort of imitate that style, like creating videos with short and they get a lot of engagement. So I think for that, it's the platform, especially on Facebook. Instagram is sort of interesting if you have a large following, but we didn't have a large following on Instagram. But even compared to the numbers of followers and compared to the numbers of engagement that I sort of get on Instagram, so sort of commendable. And on Twitter, it sort of helped the discussion to expand because you get feedback from people who sometimes say, oh, this fact check is too late, or you are biased or things, just those engagements. So it helped us to sort of gauge ourselves. But the videos were very, very effective on Facebook, and it sort of helped to create a brand awareness, and people were aware of what we were doing.
Great. So that leads me to my next question. So both of you experienced success in Nigeria and Indonesia creating fact-checked videos out of articles. Why do you think that not many fact-checking organizations are taking this next step
Yeah, because sometimes they don't know. And there's this thing about, okay, they believe that, doing video, you need to have someone you need to hire someone who have the skill, who can do the video editing and all those things. Sometimes you have tools that people are not aware of. And the fact that sometimes fact-checking organization especially in Nigeria, they are some sort of short-staffed. So you don't have enough people to handle this. And the big media organizations don't really have fact-checking there. So you don't have someone dedicated to doing this sort of thing. So that thing about, not having the skills and thinking, oh, video is expensive, you have to pay someone to do it. I think that is why you don't have some fact-checking organization taking advantage of that knowledge.
Yeah, I think it's the same here also in Indonesia. A lot of big media, I see that they have, they have a social media team, but they have to serve like the whole newsroom. Mm-hmm. And sometimes fact-checking articles are just not a priority because, it's not that popular. But when you want to create a 30-second video or 1-minute video, it's kind of difficult. If the social media people are not journalists, it's kind of hard to compress all the information into a very short video. So yeah, I think that's the reason.
Great. Well, I think we can start going into the demonstrations in line with the theory or the idea that we shouldn't make videos very long or else we lose audience.
Okay.
And also, but before we go into that too, I just wanted to share that before you guys started in both of your newsrooms for your Truthless fellowships, they weren't doing so much of these videos, right? But now that you've left, they're still continuing on your let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it really does show that hopefully some journalists and fact checkers out there kind of get inspired to try it out using Lumen 5 and see if you can also create this kind of success for your own newsrooms. But I don't know if Hannah, you'd like to start first with a little intro of the article and then going into creating a social video.
Okay, yeah, I'll start now.
Great.
So this is, okay, I'm sharing my screen. So this is, oh, okay, yeah, this works. So this is Lumen 5. So take this up to get to Lumen 5. Oh, this is Lumen 5. So this is for those of you who have been asking about, okay, the app or something, just go to Lumen 5, www.lumen5.com, sign in with your email or anything, and this is the dashboard. So I'm just going to show like a demonstration. So you come here and you show create video. So create video should take you to, and you can either start with a link, which means you can upload an article from a link and just put it here. Actually, if I want to do this, this is the article that we are fact checking is about. Let's say we are fact checking this article about from Africa Check in South Africa. So you can just take the link and pop it in here. Start with a template, choose a template from the various design options on Lumen 5, or just start with some text. So I'll just come here because if I'm putting the link, I'll have to go through the stress of, picking out the stories that I want and just doing the summary. So I'll just put some text here. So I'll put some text here and I'll just go. You can choose a format, talking about the social media platform. You have Facebook, if you're doing Facebook, Instagram, or on Twitter, that is where you want to put the story, where you want to upload the story, the video, Snapchat, YouTube. So I'll just come here and just take the newsfeed format for Facebook. And you can choose a theme, as you can see. By the way, I'm using a free account, like a free account option on Lumen 5. So you still have all those options. So choose a theme, pick a theme. Then this is what the dashboard looks like. Once you are in, it asks you like our AI and pick sentences for you. Does the story flow well? Like, because I already have the text, sort of pick sentences for me, and it has created the frames. But what I want to do, I'll just clear board, because sometimes you want to highlight your own stories the way you want it. And the way to do that is, once you click on this, it creates a frame, as you can see. Click, and you sort of see those frames. And what you can do is media. When you come to this side and you choose media, here you can search for free pictures. So because what I'm doing is about South Africa, I can just say workers in South Africa. And you even have video options, which are just like 1 or 2 seconds video or something. So if you are using any of them, you just drag them into your frame. So you drag them and they appear. And there's also the option if you want to upload your own image, like I have this, but I've already uploaded some image. Once you just click here, you can upload image from your computer or anything, or you can use GIFs. And you have music option to choose from, like if you want to accompany sound with your video. Sometimes if I want to do this, I'll just put African music and it brings option, and you can listen and change and see the sounds that sort of goes with your video. And if you come here to style, you can change your theme here. Let's say you're no longer interested in this theme and you want to change to something else, just come here to change theme. And if you want to like change some of these colors, like customize your colors, I think now that for that we have to use like a paid option. Then you can come to the formats. Let's say because I chose the newsfeed option for Facebook, I can come back and choose this format, which sort of makes it bolder. This sort of fits into like the Twitter platform. So depending on what you want to do, or maybe if you're doing like an Instagram story or Facebook story, but for the newsfeed, I always like to. So I'm back to the newsfeed option. And one other thing with the text, once you can come here to sort of do some editing with your text. Let's say you want to highlight any text, because sometimes you want to highlight some of the text. Let's say, okay, I'm highlighting statistics. Like I just click on it and you get that on this button. You can change your text position if you want it to be on whichever side. You can make it bold, and you can add more substance here. So it's basically this simple, and you can come back to your story if you have some things that you want to add. Like it sort of generates images for you, but like I said, you can always go back and change your image. And you have the outro, like the credits scene. Usually the outro is a logo and an image. So you can sort of upload the image of your organization. Let's say your news organization, or just come here if you have it uploaded already. Just drag it in. You drag it in, and when you come to this side, you can reduce the timing for each frame. The thing we mentioned about videos, you try and ensure to keep it to like 1 minute on each platform, especially for Instagram. So let's say I'm trying to keep this video to 1 minute, and each frame I can reduce the time. So for this one, it's for like 5 seconds. I can sort of reduce it to like 3 seconds or increase it from here. That is the end. And if you come to this side for the time, this is normal. Like if you want your video to just follow the normal flow, or if you want it to be fast, it's going to compress the time. You see now it's now 35 seconds. But if I put it in normal, it's 42 seconds. And if I put it on slow, 49 seconds. So what I usually do when I work on my video is to put it on slow. Then I can now go to each individual scenes to sort of reduce the timing. If I see that, okay, this text, because you have to look at the number of texts you have on each frame to determine the timing for each frame. And you can always break the frames if you feel like, okay, maybe you have too many words on each frame. You can always work on it to sort of create an additional scene and put it in. So this is just like a demo. Like I said, it's pretty easy. Log into Lumen 5. just follow the instructions and play around with it. So when you are done, you can just come in and click publish, or before you click publish, you just want to review what your video looks like. So you are here, like you can review and see if you need to make any corrections and do whatever you want to do, and you're fine. So once you're done, you just click publish and you wait for it to render. So publish, download. So I don't know if there's any question now before, because once I click download, it will take like 5 minutes to render.
Okay, yeah. Do you want to go ahead and click download, and then while it downloads, to share her demo too?
Okay.
Yeah. Hannah, someone had a question if Lumen 5 works well on mobile phones, or, I mean, to expand on that question too, does it not work well on a certain platform that you've experienced personally?
It works well on all platforms. That's right, if I get the question correctly. Like, is it a social media platform, or is it on the device you use and making the video?
No, the question was, can it work well on phones? Like, do people have a problem if they have to view it on their phone?
Of course, no, they don't have a problem, because, you know, whatever we are doing is for, especially when you're trying to package content on social media, you will believe many people access this content on their phone. And that is why you have those formats.
Okay.
So these are basically social media formats, and they are conditioned to work well on the phone.
Great. We have one more question in the Q&A section. Someone is asking if we should be concerned with copyright using Lumen 5 media files, or the ones uploaded by the user. Yeah,
the copyright issues, you don't really have copyright issues, because sometimes you have it once you see the free images, or there are some marketplace where you have to buy. They really don't have copyright issues. They are free to use images. But sometimes you see some images and editorial, like they write editorial on it. That means you can't use it for any other thing than like an editorial use, because like you have to use it for a news platform and not to market or sell an idea. Like those ones are strictly for editorial use and not for marketing purposes. So that's right, it works. You don't really have to be picking media from there. It's just they give you free media files. You don't have to worry about copyright.
Okay, great. Yeah. So while that downloads, Astu, would you like to start doing the demo as well?
Okay. So I'll just go to download here and let's see. Okay, I'm having issues downloading now because I used one of the free market options. So I'll just delete the slides.
Oh, Hannah is still sharing the screen, so I cannot share.
Okay.
Sorry. So let me just, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so wait. Okay, so this is Hannah has been creating the video with Lumen 5. I will show you some of the things that I use to create social media cards on Instagram. I also will do the same article. So here, I think the Africa Check format is very easy to follow, because up in here, you can see what's the claim and what's the verdict. So usually when I am creating for Instagram, I will just have the claim and what's the verdict, and then just put the explanation in the caption. So the design is not that crowded. You can see that I am using Canva. All right. This is some of the
also a free platform, right?
This is also a free platform, and they also have libraries, so you also can upload your own logos or your own picture. Usually with a lot of fact check articles, you would want to have a screenshot of the false claim when, like, this is the one that I created for Instagram story. They also have different kind of size. If you want to do stories or you want to do feeds, they have it already. This is the story, like I said, for Instagram, you want to have more engagement, and it's best to use the tools that Instagram have in their own platform. So you want to do a template like this. So when you put it in your story, you can add your own stickers, or you can have like a quiz, and that will drive a lot of engagement. I will also want to introduce you to this very cool online tool called Remove Background. For example, you want to do the articles that Hannah's sharing that's about depression, and you want to create something, more catchy for your feeds. I am downloading a photo from another online tool. This is where you can have a free picture. So let me just type depression, and there will be a lot of picture that you can use for free, but all you have to do is just put an annotation or accreditation for people who have the picture. So I already download one picture. This is the one that I want to use. If I want to create a card, then I just want to have the picture of the person, because it's social media and people react better when they have a picture of someone or something that is alive. So this is a very cool online tool, because you can have, like, if you do this on Photoshop, it will take you hours to create something cropped neatly like this, but you just takes a couple of seconds to do that, and then you just download, go back to the Canva page, and choose the square if you want to do an Instagram post, right? And just drag and drop it here in the Canva. And see, you can simply just have this and then put your tags, which is, what is the claim? Just copy and paste it. Wait. I just want to show you how easy it is to use. Okay, this is the claim, and you can have like different colors. If you want to make a branding, like your brand is, you can also upload your brand color. So my brand color is, Tempo's brand color is red and silver. So I want to use that, and just very easy. I think you got the gist of it, right? I don't have to finish it.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, one more thing. I think I need to share this also, because Canva also, you have to pay some money, some subscription money, if you want to have a very cool element like, this is something that you can only have if you subscribe. But aside from the Unsplash, you can also find the ones that you want in this website, Clean PNG. So for example, you want to find a picture of laptop in Canva, you have to pay. You can find the free one here. You can download it and then upload it again on Canva and use it for free.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think there's some other very nice thing, that this is Google's tools, Data Gift Maker. I also use this. So if you have fact checks about charts or data set, it's very nice to have this kind of gift, just to make your feeds not boring. You can use this. It's also very easy to create. If you want to, this is a GIF, so it's probably just like a 3 second if you download it. But if you put it on Instagram, it will be on the loop, you know, so when people click your content, they will see the GIF playing on the loop. This is the Instagram page, and I think someone from Tempo is now managing this. And yeah, like I said, the carousel like this is very engaged. It engaged people, and you can have, you know, a lot of tags, which probably would work very good if you want to explain long articles instead of, you know, if you don't want to make a video, you can always make a simple graphic like that and put it on carousel.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Astu.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hannah, were you able to download the video?
Oh, not yet. I think the
Okay.
internet here is sort of slow, so I'll check back again and let's see.
Okay, well, we can possibly share it with everyone who subscribed for this webinar so they can see the finished product, because I'm sure it takes time with the Wi-Fi and everything. But it looks like we are down to the last minute, so we should probably, let's see if there's any more questions, and if not, we can end the webinar. Okay, great. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Hannah and Astu. This was really enlightening. And I also am going to be using some of these new tools and tricks that you guys shared with us. Again, to Craig Newmark Philanthropies and Dow Jones for giving us the chance to have this webinar as well. So we will also be sharing this webinar recording with everyone too, if you want to visit it in the future.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.